Hello, everyone. Did anyone get an email today? Looks like we're light. See if a telegram. Sure did. Yep, looks like they did. Bob says no email. Brandon got the email. All right. Well, some people got it. Sometimes the lists are a little weird. If you send me your email, Rosalind. Rosalind. Yep.
Yeah, it is very low tier. What's going on, Matt?
For now.
Yeah, people don't like me anymore. Good morning, everybody. We got Richard, Robert, Angie, Rich. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Hope everybody's doing great. I'm sure more people will come. Did you confirm that text and telegram and everything went out?
Yep.
Let me look at my telegram here.
Went out.
Telegram went out about 17 minutes ago.
And I put it in the pit just a
Is
minute
somebody
ago.
else doing an event right now, guys? Hey, PJ, how are you? Good to see you. It's been a while. I've been thinking about you. I was like, where's PJ? We haven't seen her in a while. Have you been taking those bonus hey RJ, how are you? Bonus trades, those bonus S&P trades? Let me know how things are going. Wade says Cram and Kane. Eric says just purchased the pit. I'm lost. Well, don't go watching the show Lost. That's not going to help you. Just reach out to customer service live, Eric. They'll help you out, or reach out to me and I'll try to help you. My suggestion, I've been just quiet but loving the trades. Good, good. Just reach out to me, Eric. My email is roger@rogerscott.com. Let's go on. What's going on here with YouTube? YouTube is good. I found out a few days ago that they now have fiber optic at my neighborhood. So I'm going to give them a call. And oh, Nate's doing a webinar. Okay, well, there's a lot of people doing webinars. Brett says AbbVie 32%, AZN 24%, CME 18%, 12% Gill. Grab that, Matt. That's pretty good. Good, good. We haven't had any trades today. Um, I believe the market is bottoming out here for today. I believe the market's bottoming out. I've been saying that for the last, what the, hold on one second, folks. Hold on a second. Go ahead. All right. You can come in now, T-Buzz. Don't, can you guys help T-Buzz? Somebody help him get in here. There he is. How you doing, T-Buzz? I have a live class. I have a live class right now.
Oh, you got a live class?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I got a live class here. Yeah. I'm actually, we just started a few minutes ago. So yeah, so I think we're bottoming out, and I'll show you why I think we're bottoming out, folks. Let me just give you a few tips. Grab a chair, T-Buzz. Grab a seat. We got here we got. So if you look at the SPY, we got pretty close to the 200-day moving average. We usually have a pretty good bounce off the 200. I was telling you guys that this morning that we usually have a pretty good bounce off the 200. Doesn't mean that this is going to last, but it usually sustains itself for a few days till it decides what it wants to go. But we don't usually just break through the 200-day that fast. That's number one. Number two, oops. Number two, if you look at volatility, volatility made an all-time high today, made an all-time high at 1020. Right around the time the market started already making higher lows, and it hasn't gotten back there yet. That's number two. And number three, my third reason, you guys will love this one, is my momentum score. How many stocks do we have breaking down right now, folks? 622. What is my magic number? 500. What happens usually when we get 500, either here or here? This is for, so I measure this. This is something pretty cool. This is large cap stocks making 90-day highs, 3-month highs or 3-month lows, and that have volume, that basically have over 300,000 shares trading a day and are priced between $20 and $5,000. So every large cap stock. So I find that when this gets above 500 or the upper gets above 500, it starts mean reverting. It starts coming back, starts to peak out. Usually just don't have that much firepower. So we're at 622, folks, right now. I'll see you later, T-Buzz.
I just want a copy.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Be careful. Don't be careful. Don't take my door apart here. I don't know.
Push it.
There you go. You got it. Thank you, sir. You're out. T-Buzz is out. So let me just put the chat here in case somebody has any questions. Yeah, T-Buzz was just here. He was visiting us. What did you say? If you don't mind getting it back to how it was before, I would appreciate it. Thank you. Thanks, Brian. Anyway, T-Buzz is always fun. Anyhow, back to what I was saying. We're over 600 now. Now, there's no law. There's no law that that says that we have to cap out here. But generally speaking, once I see this number flirting with 600, it usually means that we're gonna pull back up. Now, I want to be very, very clear, and let me. Yeah, you should, Richard. He's great. T-Buzz is fun. T-Buzz he's very entertaining. Matter of fact, Richard, a couple of the people who were in our class last week, they were actually originally from the T-Buzz class, I think. I know I met some of them originally at his office, so I know that some of them were here. So we do have students that are mutual students. And T-Buzz also, he likes to go with the trend, and his style of trading isn't, from what I understand, not all that different. But he doesn't use charts. He uses price action. Yeah, there you go, Adam. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. Yeah, Bob was at my office. Carlos from Chatsworth was at my office. Had a couple of people here. It was a lot of fun. I honestly wish we had another 2 days to the class. Okay, so here's what I wanted to show you, and I'm only showing you this because this is a really good example. It's not, so there's no hidden meaning here. I'm not trying to talk about Tesla. I'm using Tesla as a metaphor for the SPY right now, okay? So I'm only using it because it's a really good metaphor. So yeah, there will be next year. I may even do one in the summer. I had so much fun that I may even do one in the summer. Also, we had to limit the number of people who could attend. We limited it to 45 people because we had 15 of our staff here, and the room capacity. We hit as most of you know, the room was pretty tight. It was like a sardine can. And also the problem was the room was narrow and long versus short and wide, so it was very hard to project. So next time I'll bring a mic that it will you guys we'll get it working out. When will day 2 of the class be sent out? I don't know, Sylvia. Hopefully, as soon as it's done, you can call customer service. I know it takes time to process, but I don't know. Totally do it in summer, mid-February. Yeah, it would be fun. I don't know. I don't know. All right. So here's what I wanted to show you. You see how Tesla, how it touches a key level and how it bounces for a few days. See how it has this bounce right here? And see how it hits the 200 and it has like a little bounce and then it does its thing, right? Well, and I'm not necessarily suggesting that this is the bottom. I don't know if this is the bottom. But for today, for right now, I think we have hit the bottom and I think we're bouncing. The question is, are we going to bounce all the way up here? Not today, in the next few days. Or are we just going to turn over and come smack down? Richard says, I think day 2 is there already next to day 1. There, button next more. Click on it and you will see day 2. There you go. There you go. All right. And Richard, since I have you here, I want to ask you if one of these days you would mind doing an interview style like you and I did for the class, if you would mind doing it for the VIP room for people who were not privy to that. I'm sure a lot of would like to see it, and it doesn't have to be high quality. You just get on your computer with your mic and your Zoom, just like a Zoom call, like a regular Zoom call. Let me know if that would be something that you're open to. You don't have to, and you don't have to respond here. It's completely your call. And you know, it, I know that a lot of folks asked me, confirm day 2 is there. Okay, thanks, Richard. Yeah, just let me know because a lot of people who couldn't make it asked me if they really wanted to see that interview. So I was thinking maybe we'll do it again and just do it live here. It will only take about 45 minutes, make a session out of it. So Mike, usually when we have a bounce to the 200 day, we come off. The question is, are we going to come into this territory right here, or are we going to just kind of flail around and come down here? And we don't know that right now. I do think we'll have a couple of good run days, but we got to be very careful here, because let me explain why. If you position yourself long right now, if you position yourself long, okay, on a stock that's moving straight up, and the SPY breaks the 200-day moving average, and more, which means more institutions would sell. There's a really, really good. Maybe one school is over. I have to make sure I don't have to get up to daycare. Absolutely, whenever, whenever you have time. We can plan it a month in advance if you want. Whenever. Um, right here, I think we have to be very, very cautious. Meaning, it's much easier for me to take shorts right now than longs. But again, we're right up to the 200-day moving average, and we usually bounce around here, and which is exactly what we're doing right now. Notice also the size of this wick. The wick is about the same size as the meat of the day, which is telling us that this bounce was pretty big bounce. Just bounced right there, bounced off. So if we test it again, that's one thing. But if we bounce off and continue moving higher, how much of this area are we going to cover? You might have remembered I told you on RSP, we got to get back into this area real quick, real quick. And this right here, that right there, as long as it doesn't go up here, this would be a fairly strong bottom. So this would shake out all of this, and it would make it easier for price action to come right back into this. For this auction right here to complete, this would be the completion of the auction right here. But that means this would have to reverse and go higher. If we break down, obviously that's not the case. Okay, so we're fairly choppy right now. I wanted to cover something today because I don't like to give free information. I mean, information that people paid for free. But I think this is one of those things that's pretty important. And I think it's something that could truly help your trading. So I'm going to cover a topic that we covered. Do you feel the move was overreaction to the tariff? I arrived a few minutes late. If answered already, no, Sean. To be quite honest with you, I have no idea, and I really don't care. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think our president no. I don't think our president knows. I think everything's fluid right now with these tariffs. No. And here's the problem. A huge amount of our commerce revolves on global economy. These tariffs, they're going to have major impact on corporations that will have major impact on other corporations that'll have major impact on other corporations. It's virtually impossible to see the impact of it right now. Virtually impossible. But I could tell you what the price action's doing, and that I could read pretty well. If you want me to read fundamentals, we could try that. RJ says my ex ran a daycare out of our home. Kids everywhere couldn't even get our driveway when returning from work. Made a lot of voting. Oh man, I'm so sorry to hear that, RJ. I can stay home, loving her success. She's been doing it for 13 years. Yeah. Hey, Cyrus, how are you? Are bear. I think auto companies are bearish. Possibly, possibly. Uh, Nasdaq is looking pretty good on a 5 minutes. SMH reversed on a 5 minutes. Are you still plotting the election VWAP? Yeah, I am, RJ. I'm plotting it till the end of the quarter. I'm going to plot it till the quarter ends. Once the quarter ends, I'm going to start using the new quarter and just beginning of the year. But I want to plop it in there because I still think there's an impact of it from it or of it from it, whatever you want to call it. I like how the SPY is congregating above the VWAP right now. I like this making higher highs like this. I like that price action quite a bit. Volume is still very low and going down, but I like how the highs are getting higher, and I like how we're turning back up, and I really like this bar right here. That's a nice shakeout bar right there. How does the expensive tariffs differ from expensive taxes? It doesn't. Not at all. Tariffs are punitive, and it works both ways. I don't want to get into it. I can talk about this for 3 hours. I just don't want to. All right. So I want to talk about visual backtesting. I don't know if you guys saw this section when I talked about the live class, but I talked about, and by the way, I'm going to have another live class at 1 o'clock. I hope you guys can make it. Matt will post a link in YouTube and here. Folks, if you do not do this, now remember I told you when you're picking stocks, for example, is pick stocks that are moving like this, right? Like this, like this. Don't pick stocks that are, what's a real, yeah, don't pick stocks, don't pick stocks as much that are doing this. Pick stocks that are, moving like this, like this. You remember that, right? You guys remember that? Yeah, yeah, exactly. What Boyd just said. It, and here's all I'm going to say. I was just telling Brian this. This is the analogy that I just told Brian before we started this class. Imagine you had open heart surgery. Okay, you're a relatively healthy guy, aside from the fact that you had to have open heart surgery. Your surgery was very successful. Your doctor comes in and says, "Hey, you're doing great. Everything's good. We're going to check you out right now, but here's what you got to do. You gotta you gotta take care of yourself for the next 3 months. You can't bend over, you can't stress out, you can't smoke, you can't drink, you can't party, you can't associate with nudie bars at 3 in the morning. You need to like chill out and like go on vacation. You need to do that. That's what you need to do for your heart to do. And you know what? And you're like, I'll do it. I'll do it, doc. I'll do it. And you know what you do when you get out of the hospital? You buy a pack of cigars, a fifth of Jack Daniels, and you go on a tear. Okay. And then you go and eat like 15 fried hamburgers. Okay. That's the problem we're having with the economy right now. We were about a quarter and a half away from getting into a truly deflationary price level, which we haven't seen since COVID. The Fed is making progress. Okay. With all of, as much as I hate Powell, they are making progress, but it's very, very slow. And all they needed to do themselves was take the advice that I gave them, which obviously nobody listens to me, including no, I mean, my wife tells me just write down what you say, put it put it in the garbage can. Nobody listens to me. So what I said was, you're too early. You're too early by about a quarter and a half to 2 quarters. I think that if they waited till summer, without if we didn't have this tariff craziness, I think we would have been right on time. But anyways, what Trump is doing right now, which is really, really bad, is he's getting that guy who just had the heart attack, and he's taking him to a nightclub. Okay, he's being a very bad influence to the guy who just had a heart attack, instead of waiting a little bit for the economy to start strengthening and then be strong and then do what he's doing right now. That's my bitch. That's my moaning. That's the only thing I wanted to say. Okay. So it's not only about what you do, it's doing it at the right time. And I would have wanted to see us I'm talking about the tariffs. I would have liked to see this being done when we are in a better footing, like after food prices have gone down, not when they're in an all-time high. That's all. And if I'm not making common sense, I apologize. But just simple common sense. He's stressing out the economy. We were this close to getting into a bear market, and now he's aggravating the bear. He's poking that bear. And I don't care if you love him. I don't care if you hate him. That's what he's doing. He's poking the bear. The bear is the market. He's poking that bear. Now you can argue with me and say, well, he's doing it for the better. I know all that. I know. But again, if you're gonna fight with somebody, wait till they don't have a fever. Wait till they feel better to fight with somebody. The market is not healthy. It's not. Momentum levels are at 42%. You understand? It's not a time to be frisky. That's all I'm saying. Harold says Zelensky made the concession in a lengthy statement posted on social media, saying Ukraine is ready to come to the negotiation table. He added last week's meeting did not go the way it was supposed to. It's time to make things right. My teams stand ready to work under President Trump to get peace that lasts. All right, good. I hope so. I know, but I'm talking about the market, Rose. I know it's not only about the market, but I'm talking about the market. So all I'm saying is, Mr. Trump, if you want to make a change in America, just wait till things get a little better with the stock market and then go crazy. Go crazy with the tariffs. Go nuts, my friend. But wait till we stabilize the market a little bit. That's all that's my personal that's my feedback. All right. Oy vey. Oh. All right. Let me take my jacket off and then all right. All right. Let's now talk about visual backtesting. So, one of the aspects of visual testing I try to teach you every Friday um, when we have the sessions here is finding stocks the trend, right? Find stocks that look like this, like stocks that look like this, that move like this versus stocks that move like this. You have a lot more directional bias when you do that. That's called visual backtesting. So when we had the class, I expanded on that thought, and I didn't have much time, but I expanded on that thought, and I want you to start doing this because this will make even if you trade stocks, if you don't change anything about if you don't change anything about your trading strategy, nothing. Whatever your strategy is, hopefully you're not trading, trying to pick tops and bottoms. But if you're trading with the trend, if you trade stocks and you don't listen to anything I tell you, but you listen to this, it will improve your trading because you're going to pick better stocks and you're going to pick stocks that better behave to they to that respect levels that you're using. Okay, so let me show you exactly what I'm talking about. So Tesla. Now, why is Tesla a great example? Tesla is a great technical stock. It behaves very well to technical levels. It does. It always has. That's why it's easy for me. That's why it's very easy for me to give you proper technical guidance. If you notice, when I give you free stuff on Tesla, I've probably been right 8 out of 10 times, 9 out of 10 times. I posted on the YouTube channel. The reason is not because I'm a stock market wizard. It's because I can read Tesla because Tesla respects technical levels very, very well. One of the best stocks to respect Tesla technical levels. So, and by the way, it's trading below the 200-day moving average, just like when I gave you an arrow when it was trading below the 100-day moving average. So, let's talk a little bit about visual backtesting. So you already know, not no back and forth, a stock that's moving firmly, but there's more to this. There's more to this. What moving at when you look back at the stock, what moving average does the stock respect? So look at this trend right here. Look at how well the stock respected the 8-day EMA. On the way down, on the way down, look how well the stock respected the anchored VWAP that I drew at the top, and then how well it started respecting the 15-day EMA. Point is this, to both the upside and the downside. Yeah. Point is this. Every stock has a characteristic. Every stock has a characteristic. Every one of them. And if you're looking at a stock, don't just look to see if a stock is trending nicely like this. That's just part one. Ask yourself, is the stock respecting the 50-day moving average? Is the stock respecting the anchored VWAP levels particularly well? Is the stock respecting a 15-day EMA? And let me explain to you why I say this. Okay, first of all, it forces you. Shopify, sure, I could do it on Shopify. Why not? It forces you. We got rid of the Shopify. We cut it loose because it broke a key level. We cut it loose. But yeah, look at Shopify. Look at how well it respects the 50-day moving average around here. So let me explain this to you. A fingerprint, exactly, Kirk. It's a fingerprint. And remember, hey, Brian, remember I was telling you I think the market's bottoming out today? And I was telling you the reasons why? How spot on was that? The eye, not indicators. The eye, experience. I was just telling Brian. The VIX is moving lower. It's making lower highs. It's breaking down here. It's not moving higher. I like that bar. That bar, by the way, that's forming on the SPY that I talked about right here, starting to look like that reversal bar, by the way, a lot. And momentum levels. I told you when momentum levels get to a certain level, they tend to revert. It's not always one thing. It's several things. So it's not a line. No line is going to predict price action 3 days in advance. Don't be foolish. So let me explain something to you. Every stock has a market maker. What momentum levels are you looking at? I was looking at this. I actually showed it a little earlier ago. Look right here, 90-day. See, we went an hour ago. We were at 622. You guys saw that. Coming into today, we were at 462. And then when we first started the show, we were over 600. We were 622, and I said that looks like it peaks out. Now it's at 539. It was at 622 29 minutes ago. Would it be easy? Would that be easier to identify with a Hakanashi? Depends. Depends how good your eye is. Just depends how good your eye is. What would be the purpose of using Hakanashi? Hakanashi is it's a 2-bar trend reversal. Do you think I need 2 bars, Al, to tell me a trend is reversing? Come on. I've been doing this for a long time. I've been doing this for a very, very long time. For me, this is like driving a car. There's okay. My chart reading is at a point where there's no me standing back and saying, what did I just see? What did I just analyze? That doesn't happen. That has not happened. I don't remember when that happened. It's like when you're speaking a language and you're not thinking about it. You know how some of you can speak 2 different languages or 3 different languages and you're not thinking about what you're saying? There's no analysis going on. It's just straight what you see is what that's where I'm at right now. It's not boring. It's just matter of fact. There's no up, there's no down, there's no bias. It is what it is. So a Hakanashi is just a 2-day reversal. That's all it is. I mean, it's a confirmation bar, but that's all it is. So yeah, it's second nature. But more importantly, Sean says, what is the mid bar on shop? That's a trend line that I drew here, and I said that's why I drew this for Matt and myself, and I said if we break this level, I'll exit the trade. And guess what happened when we broke this level? We exited the trade. Sean, I do when I tell you I actually do watch these things. I don't like I'm not making it up. Why we held it over the weekend? Because it held the 100-day moving average. So sometimes it'll bounce off remember my whole thing with the SPY? How Sean, I don't think you're listening to anything I've been saying, my friend. We tend to bounce at key levels. I gave you an example this morning, and I gave the exact same example today. We bounce around key levels. We bounce around key levels. We bounce. We tend to bounce around key levels. We were at this level. We touched it barely. We didn't even touch it. So I thought we would start bouncing. We didn't bounce it today. We broke cleanly below it. We liquidated it. Does that answer your question? Yeah. Okay. So let me get back to what I was saying. So I want to explain this to you so you understand this. There's a lesson here. Every stock, every stock, every stock has a favored fund. What do I mean by that? If you look at the stocks that we look at, I'm only looking at the most strongest stocks or the weakest stocks. RJ, all right, folks, if you want me to, I guess I should turn the session into a RJ, what about the Microsoft other leg of the Iron Condor? RJ, it's a hedged position. We do nothing. And how about you guys send me an email if you have questions about existing positions? How about I'm here? I do hear what I'm supposed to do here. Okay? Thank you. Please. Otherwise, I just won't do these. I'll just answer emails for an extra hour. This is not customer service, and I'm not here to answer your questions about trades that have nothing to do with what I'm doing right now. So again, for the fourth time, let me start on this topic. Every stock has a favored fund. What do I mean by that? Well, right now, who's been buying up, not Uber, like there was no tomorrow? Was it Griffith? Somebody's buying up Griffith like there was no tomorrow. Okay. Someone's always buying a stock. Someone's always accumulating a stock. Whoever's buying whoever's buying that stock, he's using some I'm trying, Mike. I'm trying desperately to stay on topic. They're using desperately some type of a VWAP, an anchored VWAP. They're anchoring that VWAP somewhere. Now, I'm gonna jump topics for 1 second, and then I'll come back to this topic. Remember why I told you during the private class we had? And I often told you here why I believe the 8-day EMA works so well is because I believe that the 8-day EMA, this is a good time for you guys to start writing things down. I believe that the 8-day EMA follows the 5-day SMA. And the 5-day SMA basically measures a weekly strength. So I believe there's a VWAP somewhere. I believe a lot of institutions are using VWAPs near the 5-day low based on the VWAP level. I can't prove that. I don't know that to be a fact, but based on how much this 8-day EMA, how much keying off it gets on different stocks, that's what Johnny's. I don't know who that is, Mike, but the 5-day SMA is very close to the 8-day EMA. So I believe what we're really seeing is we're seeing institutions. Thank you, Michael. I think we're seeing institutions are using some. This is a theory I have. They're using some sort of a VWAP. They're using some sort of a VWAP to figure out the support levels, and they're keying off of those levels. Now, what the hell does that have to do, and why did I have to change topics? Let's go back to what we were talking about. So I believe just the same that whatever that institution that's accumulating our favorite stock, because we're only looking at stocks that are doing this or doing this, right? So whatever the institution that at that moment is accumulating our stock, they're keying off of a VWAP, and that VWAP is that anchored VWAP happens to be moving along one of the key moving averages, okay? Which happens often. You know how sometimes we'll be looking at all of my VWAPs in the morning on the daily chart, on the anchored VWAPs, the quarter, the election, and we'll see how the VWAP just starts moving right alongside with the moving average. You guys have seen that happen many times. I have to zoom in and say, hey, there's a VWAP there. There's like two VWAPs there. There's a 50-day line. You know you guys all know what I'm talking about if you watch my morning show, because I do this all the time. Here, I'll just quickly show you. Like here, I'll go here. No, here. Oh, come on. I'll do this very, very fast for folks who don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Here. So let's just take Spotify. I don't know, any stock. Spotify. Look. See the VWAPs right here? Okay, see the VWAPs right here? There's different VWAPs here, right? You see how at one point they start moving along with the 50-day moving average, or how the green VWAP starts moving close to the 8-day, which is the red one right here? I'm well, Art. Thank you. So at certain times, or you see how the VWAPs are very close to the 50-day. So the reason I believe stocks are, the reason why I think visual backtesting is important, because what you're really seeing is you're seeing the thumbprint, as Kirk said, or the characteristic of that stock as that stock is being accumulated by a hedge fund or two. And those guys are using, and by the way, they all use the same levels. Has been a strong morning when everyone's out, but now it's going down. No, Marlon, I have no clue, and I'm not looking at Apple right now. I'm teaching you guys about VWAPs and about visual backtesting. Marlon, I know you don't agree with me, otherwise you wouldn't be posting this, but what I'm teaching you is a lot more important than what Apple's doing right now. Like 1,000 times more important. Like I'm teaching you something that took me 15 years to figure out. It didn't take me that long to figure out why Apple is moving up or down. Please pay attention and listen so that it doesn't take you 15 years to figure this out. You know, I'm talking about visual backtesting. This guy's talking about Apple. And I'm not trying to sell anything to you. I'm not trying to I'm giving you really good information. So every stock, if you go back, you will see that every stock has a thumbprint. And that thumbprint changes as we move on. And I'm not suggesting you go back 10 years. You don't have to look back 10 years. They get upset when I want to turn off the chat. They get really upset. Yeah, Havani, you are here for free, my friend. So the point being is, like, you see how well it's starting to respect the 8-day, and hear how it's respecting the 15-day. Let me give you another example. AT&T. All right. Look at AT&T. This entire period, every time it hits the 8-day EMA, it bounces off. There's clearly buying. And by the way, I didn't notice this till now, but I wanted to show you something interesting. Again, I had no interest in teaching you this. I just randomly pulled up a stock, but I want to show you something. See how the candles are white here when it touched the EMA? See how the candles are white when it touched the EMA? You see how the candles are white when it hit the 8-day EMA? Now, remember what I said to you that when it hits the EMA, I bet you there's a VWAP, and that means institutional buying. Well, this only highlights when the volume is 20% above the average daily volume for the last 50 days. So not only did it touch the EMA those days, but the days that it touched EMA, it had high volume. Do you think there's any coincidence that institutions were buying those days? And institutions are not big on moving averages. They're big on VWAPs. So my theory is that they were using that VWAP that I was just telling you about that I don't know, but it looks to me like a 5-day average or a 5-day low VWAP. And again, I don't want to lie to you and tell you what it is, even though I'm 95% sure. I'm not going to do that because I'm not 100% sure. So the volume is telling us, is confirming, not every time, but it's confirming that there is institutional buying or selling going on that day. Look at that right there. And again, this wasn't a graph that I took hour to find. This is just something I pulled up. Can a similar concept be applied to indices sector ETFs? Yeah, even more so to sector ETF and indices because they all move together. And again, it's like, let's look at this stock. This stock does not respect the 8-day EMA. This stock tends to respect the 15-day EMA. Look, which means would I be buying the stock off the 8-day EMA or the 15-day EMA? But Roger, you told me to buy off the 8-day EMA. You always tell me to buy off the 8-day EMA. It's the 8-day EMA. It's the 8-day EMA. No, I'm not. No, I didn't. I said to visually backtest the stock. Do you remember in a galaxy far away the loss we took on Home Depot and D-Dog? Do you guys remember that? I know we have people. Roger, we took a loss on these trades. 50 trades ago, we took a loss. Do you remember this? Well, I was keying off of this right here. I was keying off of the 50-day line right here. I say a lot of things, RJ, but listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Visually backtest so you know where the support is. And that's why I said to you that this was a premium lesson. And that's why I said to you that I gave this as a premium lesson that people paid for and flew out here to get on Friday. But I thought it was important enough to teach it to you here. But Marlon wants to talk about Apple. Do you guys want me to talk about why Apple's going down, or do you want me to continue teaching this? Thank you. So look at D-Dog. Remember the trades that we had on the trades that lost money, the bad trades that lost money, the ones that I'm still being persecuted for? So for anybody that doesn't know, in January, I took 2 trades in the pit and lost money. They were the last 2 trades that we lost money on. I usually do about a trade a day, sometimes more. Those are the only stock trades that we lost money on, but I'm going to use them as an example because I want you to understand what happened there. I know, Marlon. I know. Please, this is more important. That's why. If it wasn't that important, I wouldn't be making a big deal out of it. So look at how it respects the 50-day line. We bought it right here, and we lost miserably on it. Right here. But do you understand why I kept the stock till we broke down? Look at Home Depot. I stayed in the stock all through this. Yeah, persecuted. Yes, it makes sense, Cyrus, doesn't it? No, I know, but you don't understand. People were like up in arms, like they couldn't accept it. Like it was like and by the way, it was in January, and since that time we've taken probably 30 to 40 trades, and we still haven't had any losers, but they're still thinking about these two. But that's not why I'm showing it to you. I'm showing it to you is because you see how Home Depot was glued to the 50-day moving average? I was keying off of the 50-day moving average. I wasn't using the 9-day. See? So do I always use the 9-day? No. Sometimes I'll use the 15-day, and sometimes I'll use the 50-day. It depends It depends. I just explained the white bars. I explained the white bars at least 30 times here already. So you see how find out. So when you get a stock, so let's take a stock. I'm telling you guys, this is worth its weight in gold, not because I'm telling you to, because it makes common sense. When you look at a stock, Paul says Roger won every trade since July in the weekly cash flow and took two losers. I can live with that performance. Thank you, Paul. Uh, so look. You see this trend? Look at this trend. This thing really respects the 15-day. So if I was trading AZN, I would probably wait till we're below the 8 day and all the way up to the 15-day and take my trade there. But let's say the low never hit the 15 and we only stuck to the 8, then I would use the 8 day. But I wanted you specifically to see, because people are still asking me, why did you take these trades? Because of this, because they were making a trend above the 50-day. They were sticking to the 50-day. So I assumed there was a VWAP around here, and it was going to, and actually for a while, it did okay, and then we broke down. But I wanted you to understand that it's not always about the 8-day EMA. The reason I have the 8-day, the 15-day, the 50-day, and all those VWAPs, anchored VWAPs, is because they're hoping you're going to pull a rabbit out of a hat instead of trying to learn why you were staying in them. Exactly. So I wanted you guys to understand. I wanted you guys to understand that it's not about it's not about, yes, I'm looking for a nice trend, but it's not necessarily the 8-day EMA or the 15-day EMA. It's whatever that stock is respecting. Always look back. So, for example, FedEx. Let's look at FedEx. FedEx, I could clearly see by looking at FedEx that FedEx is respecting this area right here. Right here. See this? Now, I wouldn't be trading FedEx right now. I don't like the stock. It's a little too choppy. Although I got a bear signal on FedEx today, and this is a short. This is a good short. I don't think I would want to take this stock because it's so far away from this area, which it tends to respect very well. So to me, it looks like it's respecting this area right here. So I would not take this trade. I wouldn't take this trade. SMCI. This stock tends to respect the 50-day very, very well. I know a guy who went short and closed it out today. He went short right here and he closed it out today because it respects the 50-day. When you are looking at stocks, it's always good to have the VWAP, the 8-day, the 15-day, and I'm talking about the daily. Ask yourself, go back 3 to 6 months. Is the stock trending strongly? When it hits, when it hits a specific level, does it pull back or does it keep going? Does it tend to key off specific levels? Look at SMCI. Look at this 100-day moving average, 100-day moving average. Look at how hard it was to get above here. High volume bars had to start here. If you guys start doing that, your analysis of stocks is going to become, 10 times better. 10 times better. Now, what I just explained to you right now, I want to back away now. What I just explained to you about back testing a stock, this is good for finding interest levels. Am I interested in this stock? Should I add it to my watch list? And for stop losses. It's not for entries. Okay. Entries, I still like to use my 5-minute, and I want to see how it's trading in relationship to the VWAP, and I want to see on my Pro Trader dashboard right here if it's got relative strength. All those things are still very important. But for purposes of me trying to ask myself, do I want to engage with this stock? Do I want to engage? I want to look at the levels. I want to see what it's keying off. I want to see how clean the trend is. I want to get an unfair advantage. I want a stock that doesn't have any pullbacks. I want a stock that respects the 8-day EMA. I want a stock that moves up when the stock market moves down. And you're probably going and saying, gee, well, if we had stocks like that, we would hardly ever lose money. Exactly. Do we lose money a lot in the pit? No. Do you know why? Because by the time I give you a stock, the game is already over. Because we pick the right stocks. It's not because we're using great indicators. It's because we're looking at the best stocks. Is there anything that I'm saying right now that does not make the most simplest common sense to everybody here? Thank you. Cyrus, we got to stop this relationship. You used to disagree with me and argue with me all the time and always and now I don't what happened? Anytime the volume gets above most common sense, okay. There should be in the pit. Yeah, everybody should be in the pit. And by the way, for the record, that D-Dog and Home Depot, they were the last two losing trades we took in the pit, and they were all the way back in January. Uh, you can program that in. I'm sure you could program some of it in, not all of it, some of it. Can't program all of it in. I wish you could. High volume bars are available. Yeah, you could program them on any platform. All it is when it gets like 20% above this level, it highlights it as a high volume bar. Roger, you got smarter. You like Cyrus now. I always did like Cyrus. I always liked Cyrus. We both in short time frame trading. I think I changed you. You changed me. All right. All right. I remember those days, Roger, and in the blue corner, Roger, and the red corner, Cyrus. Bob says you must have fallen and hit his head now. Cyrus is like Roger. One of us is. That's what I noticed about volume. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You could program the volume stuff in. Yeah, you could put that on any platform. Yeah, yeah. All right. I have a class that I'm going to be having in 9 minutes, and Matt is going to post a link. I'm not going to give you any stocks today for obvious reasons. The market's going crazy. I still like what I'm seeing. I'm still slightly bullish right now. Overall, I'm bearish, but in the short term, I'm bullish. Short term bullish, long term bearish, if that makes any sense. Or maybe more choppy than bearish. All right. I'll see you guys in just a few minutes and stay out of trouble. All right. Stay out of trouble. What a nice session. Nobody interrupted me. Nobody had theories. I love it. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Love it. And my camera worked. Look at that.